Good day and welcome to the Sport Rep Show. I am your host Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, updating you on the latest previews of the weekend. We can expect a jam-packed show which also covers the controversial NFA, which has made headlines with the Normalisation Committee dismissing one of its key factors. Enjoy. And now for your latest on the hit list. The FIFA Normalisation Committee that is currently in charge of the Namibia Football Association has dismissed Secretary-general Franco Cosmos, it said in a statement. FIFA recently described Cosmos, who himself a member of the previous Normalisation Committee, as a decisive and a catalyst to the current squabbles at the Soccer House. Jackie Gerte will be acting in the position until further notice. Olsen Kahiriri, who has been vocal about football matters, has commended the FIFA Normalisation Committee for dismissing Franco Cosmos, even though some other pundits feel that the decision was not fair. Now, football analyst and activist Olsen Kahiriri had this to say about the Normalisation Committee in this lengthy recording. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, Jesse and the listeners, and thanks for having me this afternoon. Now the current developments that we are observing at the NFA, the Secretary-general being fired, is something that is common cause to us who are understanding the game, because it is long overdue. If you look at FIFA's roadmap, the one that gave birth to the Normalising Committee, the current Normalising Committee, made it very clear that the Secretary-general was found guilty of misconduct. There is purported to have violated his contractual obligations. 9 charges were put before him, and 5 of them he was found guilty, and the recommendation was that he should be relieved of his duty. And the committee that was supposed to do that was the executive committee, of which he politically toppled and removed, and that's why the administration of the NFA was quasi. That's why he could not be relieved of his duty. Now the Normalising Committee is acting in a capacity as an executive committee, so it has all the powers to dismiss or relieve the Secretary-general of his duty. I wish him well, because of the duties that he was supposed to do, and he never executed them. So I wish him well, that he must go and see where he can go and mess up again. That's my personal opinion, because I'm not going to shy away from my feelings, because the football player, since his arrival in football, has been suffering. He left the organization with owing the national team players, the women national team players, as well as the youth national team players, that he did not pay at this moment in time. So he has robbed the football itself from its happening. He was surely just playing politics instead of running the organization. So we are moving in a right direction by trying to remove the rotten apples in Namibian football. Let's be honest. You see, Namibians do not like to be told the truth. But with Cosmos, and I've said it time and again, and I can even say it in his face, that he has not brought or bring anything better to our football than the destructive environment that we have. FIFA has said it, it's not me. They've said that Namibian football is divided. It is up to the Normalising Committee now to try and unite football. Where they should start this unity is to try and get the NFA to speak to the NPL in order for our football to get professional. Now, as you rightfully ask, the appointment of Jackie Hershe to run as an acting Secretary General of the association, I welcome that. It's a very positive move because Jackie Herze is coming with wealth of experience in Namibian football. She has been at the helm of administering the Namibian women football desk. She was also a member of the executive committee of the NFA. She has been at all length and arm of the administration of the NFA. She is highly equipped, highly trained. The previous Secretary General invested a lot of money from the association to equip a person of the calibers of Jackie Herze. So I have a lot of confidence in what she is capable of doing. I'm not saying this because today she's an acting Secretary General. I spent several times with her. We had several engagements when she was trying to bring the women football to the level where it is. You guys or the general public do not understand the role she has played to where Namibian women football is, where it was and where it is at this moment in time. So her becoming an active Secretary General is very beneficial to Namibian women football because she will come and execute and finalize the roadmap and aspirations that the women desk had in all these years. Also, not forgetting where the Namibian football ought to go at large. To my understanding, I think she will add value to the current normalizing committee because you know that the normalizing committee that we have is composed of technocrats, people who are known for corporate governance, people who believes that all institutions should be properly run, properly constituted. So she's going to bring the wealth of knowledge in terms of football administration and know-how to this pool of capable leadership that I trust that could take us to the promised land that football ought to be. So that is my take to her, and I wish her well in her current role of acting Secretary General. We from the outside world, especially from the football players' perspective, we should and appreciate her coming to add value to the organization. I think it's high time that these people that has more knowledge into the game step up and start running the institution itself. And her being a woman, for that matter, will bring a lot of caring to what we have been crying of in football, that football players are not being taken care as children. And I think from the experience that I know she has done with the guys' goals, is it Girls and Goals, the project that she has run where she has raised children from various homes and brought them into football. Today we see them as talented footballers in a country in the likes of Sanata Coleman, who's currently playing football in Turkey, also had a spell in Spain. So that is my take into the current affairs of football. I'm looking forward that government is also ought to play a pivotal important role because we need to bring government on board, let them understand why we say football, for that matter, ought to become a product of the future generation, and for that product to be the product that we can create jobs with, it needs to be nurtured and invested into. And government, if they want to invest in youth, they should start with football. So Jesse, this is my take into Namibian football, and I hope that the game is going to get bigger, greater, and to the extent that everybody wished to.
Thank you, Master Kahiriri. Well, those are the views of Master Kahiriri alone and not the views of the Namibia Media Holdings or NTV at all. Well, if you have contrasting views as well, you can always come through to the Sport Rep show and give your views in terms of the Namibia Football Association drama. Well, the weekend drop is up next with the latest previews. It is the weekend drop and we can expect a lot that is happening this weekend. First of all, the Namibia School Sports Union Games are expected to attract over 1,200 athletes from all 14 regions as they battle for places in the 2 elite teams that will be selected at the event, as well as breaking rights for their respective regions from 1600 begins. Well, Namibia School Sports Union coordinator Solly Dacre has given assurance to the athletes that everything is well and in place ahead of their big weekend. We have made sure that accommodation is sorted in Windhoek and also Okahanja. The track is ready and the program has been finalized, meaning that we are just ready to get going. We expect at least 1,200 athletes from different schools to be part of the event, Dacre said. Some of the regions started traveling as from Thursday, while some other closer regions only began this morning. The regions have been requested to be present already by 12 this afternoon, which was this afternoon. The event will then has officially kicked off. That's at 1600 and will end only at 2100 today with the opening day. Well, tomorrow the starting time will be 800 hours while it ends at 1300 hours. Nedbank sponsors CAC MTB African Championships. The 2022 CAC MTB African Championship is taking place this Saturday at the IJG Trails in Kleine Coupe, the prestigious mountain biking event of the year in the cross-country Olympic discipline of the African continent, will be hosted by the Namibia Cycling Federation, the Nedbank Namibia as an official sponsor. The event will also have cyclists compete in categories ranging from under 12 to elite men and women at the IAG Trails in Kleine Coupe. The event is expected to attract cyclists from over 10 African countries who will compete for the title of the African Continental Championship. The event will be held under a license of the Confederation of African Cycling and the cycling governing body, the Union Cyclists International. The MTC Netball Premier League this weekend heads to Oshivarongo as the top teams battle to improve their positions on the log table. Mighty Gunners will be relishing the opportunity of playing at their own backyard as the visiting teams will be eager to silence the crowd. The MTC Netball League, which commenced early this year, is hosted in several towns across Namibia on a weekend basis, and this is to give a platform to the regions to host these competitions. Well, it is actually poised to be a very, very important one there. That's in Oshivarongo. We know that Mighty Gunners are from that region, but you can't write off that's the likes of Afrocat, well, Nampol, can write off as well as the team from the coast, which is the Namibian Navy, which has also been doing very well. You have the likes of Tigers, who are also a top team in that regard. So it is built up to be a very, very, very hectic weekend in terms of sporting action there. Ari Ohart is up next with the latest international news. Stay tuned.
Good day everyone, time for international sport, and starting off with golf news today. It is on the US PGA, it is the Zurich Classic that's taking place at the moment. Quite an interesting format. It is in teams of two that play together. It doesn't happen too often because it's mostly just in Ryder Cups and President Cups that they do that, the professional golfers. The format is that two players that take the best ball in position of the two in the first and the third round, and the second and fourth round, it is foursomes golf. So the result the scores after the first round is that it is Xander Schauffele that playing together with Patrick Cantlay, and they came in with a 13 under par total of 59, quite a low score because of the format. Other high-profile players, interesting combinations to mention is world number one Scottie Scheffler. He is paired with Ryan Palmer. They came in with a score of -8, and then also Danny Willett and Tyrrell Hatton, also a score of -8. Southern African interest in the golf tournament, it is Charles Schwartzel that's playing with Christian Besaidnout, and they had a score of -5 after the first round. The final round will be played on Sunday. On to some more golf news. It is the Women's Australian Classic that's being played at the moment in Australia, and leader after the first round, Megan McLaren, is still doing well in the second round. She was 3 under par with a few holes to finish, so she was on a total of -8 in the second round of the Australian Masters. It's still Cohen Alonso of Spain that's in the second place. She is just 2 shots behind McKinnon at the moment. And now we continue with cricket news and the IPL, the Indian Premier League, that's being played at the moment. It was the Chennai Super Kings that played against the Mumbai Indians. Two teams that's battling at the moment. They are low down on the points list at the moment. In fact, they're only between them won 1 game. So what happened was it went to the last ball, and it's the Chennai Super Kings that won on the last ball of the 20-over game, and they beat the Mumbai Indians by 3 wickets. It was Dhoni that scored the winning runs. He got the ball to the boundary for 4, and it was 156 for 7 that they made. That's the Chennai Super Kings. That was after the Mumbai Indians made 155 for the loss of 7. They're still right at the bottom of the points table, with the Mumbai Indians losing all seven games so far. Chennai Super Kings just 2 wins from 7 games. The leaders at the moment is the Gujarat Titans. They on 10 points after 6 games. Also, cricket news is that West Indian cricket player Kieran Pollard announced that he will retire. He is 34 years old, and he played especially many one-day games, T20s and ODI games for the West Indies, and it is Kieran Pollard that retire. He played 123 one-day games and 101 T20 games for the West Indies, and he was also the captain of the team for many games, and he was also part of the West Indian winning team that won the 2012 T20 World Cup. And for the Mumbai Indians, he also played in quite a few finals. He won 5 titles with the Mumbai Indians since 2010. And now we move on to some soccer news, and it is Manchester United that announced or confirmed that it is Erik ten Hag that will be the new coach of Manchester United. He will take over from caretaker coach at the moment, that is the German Ralf Rangnick, and that is at the end of the season. Season that's been difficult for Rangnick. Manchester United at the moment in 6th position on the English Premier League. They're outside the top 4, which is quite lucrative for clubs playing in the Champions League next year, so it seems like Manchester United will lose out on that. It is the 5th manager since 2013 for Manchester United. That was when Sir Alex Ferguson stepped down as coach of Manchester United. So Rangnick or Ten Hag, Erik ten Hag is coming from Ajax Amsterdam. He's a coach for Ajax in the Netherlands at the moment, and he signed a 3-year deal. And to conclude some tennis news, it is the Barcelona Open that's taking place at the moment. The news there is that 9th seed Nicolas Baishvili, he was knocked out in the round of 32 by José Munier of Spain. It was 6-1 and 6-4 that he lost. That is Nicolas Baishvili that is out of the tournament. Top seeds Stefanos Tsitsipas is still in the tournament. He went through to the next round. He beat Ilya Ivashka by 6-1, 4-6 and 6-2. And then also 3rd seed, that is Felix Auger-Aliassime from Canada. He beat Carlos Tabaré of Spain, and that score there was 6-1, 3-6 and 6-4. So that's the international sports news for now. Hope you have a great sporting day and a great sporting weekend. Goodbye.
Well, thank you so much, Ari. Well, it is poised to be a very great weekend in the English Premier League. We know that Arsenal are going to play Manchester United. It is indeed a big one. Coming back to the home affairs, with Franco Cosmos being dismissed, well, it has been a very, very difficult time for the Namibia Football Association and Namibian football in general. There has been a lot of infightings for a number of years now, and probably there is hope that the current Normalisation Committee will be able to deliver on the promise of restarting football, and as well as the incoming executive that will be selected and the president. There is hope that there is going to be light at the end of a dark football tunnel. It has been very, very difficult for Namibian football players that have not been able to play at the moment. Well, there are those that believe the dismissal of Franco Cosmos was also not fair at all, and he should actually contest that dismissal and stand, because they feel that he has done nothing wrong in the saga. So we will hopefully have more pundits to come and speak on this matter from both sides. That is all we had for you today. Please do not forget to catch us live again on Tuesday as we bring you the latest news. Have a blessed weekend and goodbye.